AM 1300 KGLO.
It is 8:32, and it's time for the Our Gest program, brought to you the service of the Greater Mason City Chamber of Commerce. And speaking of the Greater Mason City Chamber of Commerce, we are going straight to the top of the food chain, per se. So Colleen Frein joins us, the President CEO of the Greater Mason City Chamber of Commerce. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for doing this every week.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on this.
Well, we like we've kind of talked on the first couple of programs. This was a program that was, it's kind of bounced back and forth between KGLO and KRIB through the years, and we thought we'd bring it back as part of this morning program. And it's just it's kind of for newer businesses, that newer members of the Chamber of Commerce, I should say, and which most of them are newer businesses, and then some long-lasting community members. It's good. Get their message out, isn't it?
Exactly. It's a great way for us to celebrate all the businesses in our community. Most of the businesses in Mason City and Greater North Iowa are small businesses, and we want to be able to tell their stories. So thank you for helping us do that.
Absolutely. We were just talking before we went on the air that it's hard to believe that, it's been 2 months since we had Band Festival?
That's wild. Yeah. It feels like summer just started, and here we are. It feels like fall.
Yeah, it's going to be school time and all that before we know it. So
I'm not quite ready for it.
Nah, neither am I. But speaking of awards, there's been a lot of.
Were we speaking of awards?
Well, that was another conversation I guess we were having off the air. But
sure.
The chamber got one of the big awards from the Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives, one of 4 winners of the Chamber of the Year award, and obviously, I'm assuming a lot goes into the application for that. And then, of course, you get the rewards after that for all that hard work.
Absolutely. It's a big process. So we're so proud to have taken home Chamber of the Year for the Greater Mason City Chamber. And Iowa took home too. So the category for the largest category, Des Moines took home Chamber of the Year. So we're very proud of Iowa and all the work being done here. It's a hard process to go through. So first you have to be invited to apply for Chamber of the Year. You have to meet certain benchmarks in terms of your membership growth, your financials, and some other metrics. And once you're invited to apply, the application is very extensive. It takes quite a bit of time. Our whole team works on it to show the best of our marketing, our community efforts, our advocacy, all the work that we do, and our stewardship of our finances, of our membership database, and of our work for our members. And then from there, you become a finalist, and you get invited to the national convention, and that's where the real work comes in. About 70% of the Chamber of the Year score is based off of an in-person interview that my Vice President Allison and I did in New Orleans.
Yes,
Repping the New Orleans shirt. In New Orleans, in front of a panel of 4 judges, where they ask us questions about our chamber, and we don't know the questions in advance. We just have to know our chamber, which we do, and then from there we find out. So we were so happy to have been selected as the winner this year. We had some great, I don't want to say competition, but peers in the category, because all of the work that's being done by the chambers and the other communities is great work as well. So so proud, but really the award is, yes, it's a reflection of our chamber and the work that the chamber is doing, but it truly is a reflection of the work that all of our community partners are doing. Throughout the interview, Allison and I referenced numerous other people that we work with, like the Mason City School District, like our city, which just won the
All-Star Community Award from the Iowa League of Cities.
Yes, we're so proud. We just keep racking them up. But truly, the awards are great, but what it really represents is the great work that is being done intentionally in our community. We're not a community that does something and sits on its laurels and says, cool, that was great, work's done. It's, okay, what's next? How do we keep growing? How do we keep getting better? And sure, sometimes there are stumbles and sometimes there are setbacks, but ultimately what we're seeing and what this is recognizing is that we are a progressive community. We are doing top work that other communities are watching and trying to replicate and are seeing us as leaders in this.
I'm going to get back to that convention a couple of weeks ago in just a couple of seconds, but I want to kind of back up and talk about, there may be a business, somebody listening out there, a business, an organization they may be wondering, or they've wondered through the years, why should I be a member of the Chamber
Yeah.
of Commerce? Talk about that. What the benefits are.
It depends. I would say there are so many benefits. It really depends on the business and what their growing pains are, what their hopes are, and how we can support them. But I might answer that just by kind of explaining what our day looked like yesterday at the
Yeah,
chamber,
go ahead.
because there are so many facets that make up the work that we do as a chamber. So as examples, in my case, I was working on getting together a breakfast of business leaders to help support the Child Care Works program that we've worked very hard on to support the local child care workforce and encourage or increase the number of people who are or number of kids that are being able to be cared for. Our vice president gave 2 tours of the community to people who are interested in coming here. Our membership director had a meeting with our ambassadors, who are the ones that do the ribbon cuttings, the big fun celebrations, but they're also the ones who will go in and recognize small businesses for their achievements, kind of the celebratory side of things. In addition, we sent out our newsletter and our chamber news, which is a weekly email. Those feature local things happening in our community, but also are telling our member stories. Again, that's a very important piece for us. We're preparing for a small business basics AI training for small businesses. So that was one of the things that was included in the chamber newsletter. Tomorrow we have our ag and industry tour out at Skyview Beef, so learning about the local ag economy. And next week is our Moonlight Bike Ride, where we will have 200 some riders through the streets of Mason City, glowing on wheels. But all of that comes back to what the intention of the chamber is to provide advocacy for our businesses here in Mason City, to provide opportunities for leadership growth, succession planning, understanding how to operate in this new technology using AI, using TikTok, using Canva, and then finding ways for them to meet other business owners, network with them, grow their circles of influence so that they can then, of course, grow their customer base, but more importantly, grow their reach in the community, grow their impact, and feel like they're connected. Oh, and then on top of all of that, we're working on our Pride in Place initiative, where we're trying to put together a community culture statement. What does it mean to be a Mason Cityan, and why do we love living here? What things do we need to work on? And so we're going to be shooting a commercial here pretty soon with the results of our community poll that we did to essentially help Mason City remember what's so great about being Mason Cityan. So it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's not just one thing that we
Right.
do. That was just, that's just what we're doing right now.
Let's talk a little bit more about the Pride in Place,
Yeah.
because I know, with myself serving on the chamber board and several other members on the board, that was kind of one of the things that we addressed through the year, or at least back, I know, our annual strategic planning meeting, that, there are a lot of great things. And I know some people, everybody's got a right to make a comment.
Absolutely.
About stuff, but some people may just not realize how good it is here, or the benefits of living in Mason City, and compared to some other places around the nation.
Absolutely. Even Mayberry had to have a sheriff.
That's right.
No town is perfect, and we know that. And anywhere that you live, when you become complacent in where you live, you're going to find things to nitpick. You're going to find things, and there are things that we can improve on. We're not a perfect community. We know that. That's one of the things that we asked in our poll that we sent out to, our survey that we sent out to the community, is what can we do to keep improving? Because we don't want to rest on our laurels. But gosh, I think this is a community we're celebrating, and a community I love to live in, and a community that we are all choosing to live in. We choose to be here. In this day and age, if you don't love where you live, hopefully most people have the opportunity to find somewhere else, or move to a smaller community, move to a different place to live. I know that's not true of everybody, but there are people who are choosing right now where they want to live, and we want to be a community of choice for them, and we think we are. But sometimes we need to remind ourselves of that we have a lot of really great stuff happening here, and I love where we live. I hope everybody loves it, but sometimes you have to be reminded about what's great. It's no different than a marriage, right?
Right. There you go.
Sometimes you get complacent with your husband or your wife. Your kids aren't listening, and they need, et cetera. But we love them, and so sometimes we need to be reminded of why.
But back to the the Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives convention that you were at a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, that was also a chance to network with other organizations and maybe get some ideas on
Yes.
that we can be implemented here.
Yeah, one of the most exciting ideas that I've taken from that, and it's something that's been stewing in the back of my mind for a while. Advocacy is, of course, very important to me, advocating for our members, and civil engagement in our community. That's one of the things that came out of the Civics Bee that we host every year. And so another community is doing great work in civic engagement in trying to encourage more people to run for office, giving them the tools to understand what that looks like, and encouraging our employers to learn about what that means for their employees and maybe tap their employees to say, hey, we think you would be great running for school board. We think you would be great on the city council. You should join the park board. But preparing those employers for what does that mean for them? What does that mean when there is pushback against that person? And how do you support your employees if they choose to run for public office? It's such an important thing. And the more polarized our world gets, the more important it is that we find those people who are in the middle, who are, and I'm a little, biased here, but business minded,
Yeah.
and understand our North Iowa area and what our business community needs, and can work for that at whatever level of elected positions that they can. So that's something that we're working on. I just had coffee. Another thing we did, I had coffee yesterday with former Mayor Bill Schickel to chat with him a little bit about what this might look like, and he's excited about it too. I know it was something that was a big topic at our last board meeting too.
Yeah, and and the chamber has made some opportunities available for community conversations. I know the one was that talking about the mall, and that's something that the chamber is continuing to look at to do as well.
Exactly. That's the part of civic engagement. We can have conversations with our neighbors, and we can disagree, and we should disagree, because if we all agree on everything, we'll never get anywhere. It's important to have civil disagreement. And so we're having another community conversation next month. It will be hosted at the McNider Art Museum. We're actually doing a photo contest right now for people to enter in photos that they have of Mason City. It can be landscape pictures, but it can also be their family enjoying a park or going swimming at the pool, whatever that might look like. And then we're going to actually start forming that community culture statement at the Community Conversations event in September. So it's free. Anyone can attend. You do not need to be a chamber member. We really want to open this up to the entire community to have a voice, have a say, and help shape who we are as Mason City.
And we'll definitely, when that takes place, we will definitely make sure people remind people that to get there as well.
Thank you.
So, Moonlight Bike Ride, like you mentioned, that's been a popular event.
Oh, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. It's great to see the kids that come out. I'm impressed with how many kids can bike 10 miles personally.
Yeah.
But I know that kids have a lot more energy sometimes than us adults do. It's so much fun. We have usually about 200 riders, and the route changes every year to showcase the new things happening and our great new opportunities for bicycle recreation in North Iowa. So this year we are starting at the brand new, beautiful Prairie Rec Trails Bike Park up on the north side of town. We will kind of meander through the new trails past the high school and take a stop at Roosevelt Field to have some snacks, and then make our way back to the bike park, where we will have Chick-fil-A for breakfast, dinner, whatever time it ends up being. The ride starts at 9 o'clock, usually ends by 11 or so, sometimes earlier than that. So it's a lot of fun, and everyone decorates their bikes. There's prizes for the best decorations, and just a really great family-friendly event that showcases one of the great things about living here, and that's our amazing bike trails.
Well, the bike park, of course, has been very well received. When the governor was here, that's almost been a month ago since Governor Reynolds and her family pulled up in the Winnebago, and they were clamoring to get out of there. So I mean, and just the number of people that have used that so far has just been tremendous.
Yes. And I'm so encouraged to see, Wayne's here in town worked with the city to make sure that, or sorry, not the city, the schools, to make sure that young kids have access to bikes now in the middle school, in the intermediate school, and on, so that this isn't something that's restricted. Like people of all ages, economic abilities, they can use our trails. They can hop on a bike and use those trails, go visit the bike park and experience that and have some good exercise, get outside, spend time with their family in a healthy way.
And we've got the annual meetings coming up, and we've got what else do we have coming up?
What else do we have coming up? Yep, the annual meeting. So if I can just put a plug in, this
Absolutely.
is one of my favorite events of the year. Our annual meeting is in October. Of course, it's a celebration of our business of the year, our boss of the year. And this year we've added a new award for Young Professional of the Year. And then our Distinguished Citizen is the other award that we provide at that meeting. It also gives us an opportunity to inform our members of everything that has happened over the past year and provide some educational sessions for them. But this year we are doing it big. So we hosted at the Music Man Square. We're planning to bring our celebration from New Orleans to all of our members. And so Music Man Square will look a little bit more like Bourbon Street for our annual meeting. And we're going to have a New Orleans themed jazzy annual meeting. We're so excited for it, and we hope all of our members, as many as possible, will be able to come out. Most of our members have their annual meeting tickets included as part of their membership, and so we definitely want to see people there. We want to celebrate with everybody, and we also want to make sure they know that this is their award. This is not just a staff award. This is an award for our entire chamber, for our membership, for our businesses.
Anything else you want to add before we let you go?
Oh gosh. If you want any more information, you can always just stop by the chamber. We're right downtown in the Commerce Center. Check out our website, masoncityia.com. We are so friendly, approachable. If you call, we'll answer whatever questions you have, or we'll point you to the people who can. So we hope that we're just here to be a tool for our community and a tool for our businesses.
Wonderful. We appreciate you coming in today and for everything you do. So
thank you for everything you do.
All right. Thank you very much. Colleen Frein with the Greater Mason City Chamber of Commerce, the President CEO. That's been the Greater Mason City Chamber of Commerce Be Our Guest program today here on